I can smell your nappy pussy.
Well, damn. How y'all doing? Let me grab my blanket. Hey, how y'all doing? Bitch, I'm grabbing my blanket. Hey, guys, how are you doing today? And yes, I have on shorts and my brim. I'm gonna go buy some more bucket hats. This is gonna be my signature if you guys haven't figured that out yet. Bucket hats is gonna be my signature. Yes, sir. Yes, Lord. I got the laptop. So you know what that means. When you see the laptop, you know what that means. That means we're getting ready to get in on a movie. And I just want to say once again to everyone who views these and shares them or whatever it is that you're doing, I appreciate you. Well, my last uh, post that I dropped last Friday, which was a week ago, there was some issues that happened with the video. So if it looked like the audio or that the pictures didn't line up with the time frame, it's because unfortunately YouTube had some discrepancies or issues with copyright for one of the videos I put in there. They didn't like the clips I used, even though they were my own personal clips from my phone. Barely had any audio attached to them. There were some issues, so it kind of messed up. It shrunk it by like 3 minutes, so it kind of messed up some of the clip. But nonetheless, today it's a new day. So I hope you guys are doing wonderful on this here Friday. Well, you guys know how I do. If you don't know, I'm going to tell you. I do these movie podcasts, and I'm finding my way. I'm finding what works for moi. So, you guys know the very first episode was Kimba. After I hit 10 episodes, I won't restate the episodes. I'll just tell you to go find the movie break podcast playlist and just go watch them. But episode 1 was Kimba. Episode 2 was Hello. Episode 3 was Mia Copel. Episode 4 was Divorced in the Black. Episode 5 was Who's Cheating Who, which I realized when I went back and rewatched the last one that I realized I had cut out me telling you what the next episode was about. I don't know how that happened, but whatever. But today is episode 6. And it's kind of weird because these last 3 or 4 movies that I have done have been brand new movies. And this one also is going to be a brand new movie, but I promise I will reach back in time and find older movies. I got a suggestion from my sister recently on a movie that I should do, and I'm going to do it just because, I had a movie I wanted to do, but I can't find it anywhere. But nonetheless, I have 2 movies I'm going to do once I can find the one I'm looking for. But episode 6, I'm proud of myself. I made it to 6 episodes. So, anyway, episode 6. If you haven't seen it, I'm sorry. But when you see it, you're going to be like, holy smokes. It's not your normal exorcism style of movie. This movie is loosely or inspired, I guess, inspired by a true story. I won't go deep into the true story aspect of it because you can look it up if you would like, or I can talk about it on another episode of Movie Break. But this movie is The Deliverance. And I looked it up, Deliverance, and I realized there's more than one movie, but I don't know what the old movie is about. I know what the new one is, which is a Lee Daniels film. Um, and usually I don't tell you guys who's the producer or the writer or whatever the case may be, but I will on this one just so you don't get confused with the other one. Because when I looked it up, it was more than just one movie called The Deliverance, or one was called Deliverance, I believe, and this was called The Deliverance. It's a Lee Daniels film. It's on Netflix. And as y'all know, I like to always introduce the characters to y'all. We got quite a few characters, and I know in my last episode I mentioned how am I going to do this with multiple characters because it's going to take a long time to edit. Um, but we got multiple characters. We have Andrea Day, who plays Ebony Jackson. She's the mother of Nate Jackson, Shantae Jackson, Andre Jackson. Nate Jackson is played by Caleb McLaughlin. Shantae Jackson is played by Demi Singleton. And Andre Jackson is played by Anthony B. Jenkins. Those are her children, once again. Then we got the grandmother played by Glenn Close, which is Alberta. And when you look at it, I don't want to spoil who she is, but when I seen, I said, "Hey, that's So if you was born back in the 70s, 80s, or 90s, you'll know exactly who Glenn Close is when you see her. You'll be like, "Oh snap, that's yeah." Um, Now usually I do tell you what films you might have seen these people in, but a lot of them I don't know much about. But Glenn Close, I don't want to spoil who that is. I just want you guys to watch the movie and see for yourself if you remember who she is. And Caleb McLaughlin, he's been a Concrete Cowboy. He's, I believe, what's the name of that dang movie? Um, Hold on, y'all, because I gotta look it up now. Because it's a movie. Besides Concrete Boy, he's been in another movie, and the Concrete Boy is with Idris Elba. And that's a movie I might do a breakdown on as well. Uh, but anyway, Caleb McLaughlin. I think that's how you pronounce his name. If I'm saying it wrong, I apologize. I'm not that great with names. Stranger Things. That's the show I was thinking of. Stranger Things. It wasn't a movie. It's a show. Stranger Things. He's been in that as well. And then you got Reverend Bernice James, who's played by Awana Elise Taylor. I think I said her first name right. She's been in countless films and TV shows as well. Um, and then we got our favorite auntie in this motherfucker. Excuse my language, but we got our auntie in this thing. We got Cynthia Henry, played by no one other than Miss Mother Sucking Monique, y'all. Miss Monique. I Hold on, let me finish telling y'all about the characters before I get, because boy, look, I love me some Monique. And then we got our honorable mentions. Mr. Omar Epps plays Melvin. Miss Tasha Smith plays Pastor Powell, and Miss Lawrence plays Asia. That's a friend of Ebony's. Uh, and then we got our internet cousin in there, y'all. Our internet cousin, y'all, Tim Bay. He's also in there. He works at the salon with Ebony, from what I've seen. But those are our characters. Once again, Andrea Day playing Ebony Jackson, Glenn Close playing Alberta, Caleb McLaughlin playing Nate Jackson, Monique playing Cynthia Henry, Demi Singleton playing Shantae Jackson, Anthony B. Jenkins playing Andre Jackson, and Anuwa Ellis Taylor playing Reverend Bernice James. And once again, our honorable mentions was Omar Epps playing Melvin, Tasha Smith playing Pastor Powell, and Miss Lawrence playing Asia, and our internet cousin Tim Bay. Well, at least he's my internet cousin because I love him. That he's hilarious. I like that little guy. Now, the beginning of the movie starts off as a normal movie. You think you're watching a single black mother struggling to raise her kids. That's what it starts off as, right? But what caught my attention in the beginning of the movie was the two. I don't know if I wouldn't say scriptures, but I guess quotes. There you go. That's what I'm looking for. Quotes. The first one said, "I need forgiveness for my sins, but I also need deliverance from the power of sin." And then I need forgiveness for what I have done, but also I need deliverance from what I am. Those quotes was like, why is it? Because I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know what the deliverance was. I didn't know it was supposed to be like a thriller or anything like that. I just assumed it was like, maybe a godly movie, and it wasn't. Um, so when I seen those quotes, I'm like, okay, maybe we getting into some praise and worship in here. When we got into some praise and worship, all right. Um, Now, like I said, it's inspired by a true story. So, um, I forget exactly. I want to say I know they moved from Philly, but I don't think she ever mentioned where they were currently residing. But they had moved from Philly to a new location. Um, and it opens up with Andre painting their room. He's painting like a church mural, if you will, in their room, right? And you see grandma and the granddaughter at church, which those two are the only two I've seen at the church. I didn't see the pan or show nobody else, which Tasha Smith once again was the pastor of the church. So it opens up like that. You get to see that Ebony and her mother don't see eye to eye. Ebony basically has this hatred for her mother, this despise, this animosity, this anti love for her mother. At least that's what it shows, right? I think she definitely loves her mother, but she just shows like this animosity towards her because I guess something that happened to her in her past, and she blamed her mother for it, and also she just felt like her mother just wasn't there. Um, but it opens up like that. From what it shows and from what I'm understanding, Ebony's a recovering alcoholic, or at least trying to recover from alcoholism, while their father, the kid's father, is in the military. Alberta is Ebony's mother. Okay, and then uh, Cynthia is Ebony's social worker. So, uh, in the beginning of the movie, that like there's a bunch of flies flying around the house, and this, you know, bunch of flies. It's like a fly infestation in the home, and it's coming from the basement, right? Well, there's you know, certain things show you a sign of death, right? So, unfortunately, black is a sign of death. Like the color black, certain black things are considered a sign of death. Like a dead black cat, dead scarecrow, those things laying around in your yard or in your vicinity is a sign of death. Whether it's death upon you or death upon someone you know, is what it's supposed to be. So that's where the flies was coming from, a dead cat in the basement. I'm gonna just go ahead and spoil it. Spoiler alert, it's a dead cat in the basement. So which never got any answers on how that cat got down there or why it was down there, but it was down there. So you kind of see Nate and Shantae, or and even well, not really Andre. Andre's not afraid of his mother. He's too young, I think, to even have a fear. But Shantae and Andre have like this slight fear. It seems like of their mother. Like they kind of have some animosity towards her because which what her mother did to her is basically what she's doing to them almost. And they have some resentment and some animosity towards her for it, right? So Nate is the oldest, and I think that he spent I don't know how to put it. I think that he felt some type of way and just was afraid to speak up and say anything until it got to his breaking point, if you will. But the whole premises of this movie was basically, and I'm sorry if you haven't seen the movie yet, so if you don't want to hear this, from this point on, it's gonna be a bunch of spoiler alert. I'm just gonna tell you from this point on, it's gonna be a bunch of spoiler alert randomly throughout here. So if you don't want to hear this yet, go watch the movie first and then come back, and then we can battle on my opinions if you want. Um, but the premise of the movie is basically the young boy gets possessed by a demon. And if you know anything about demons, they usually prey upon the young, old, or the weak and innocent. And Andre was more innocent and more pure than anybody else in the household, so it was easier for the demon to get him first. He started off pretending to be his friend. See, I, people don't pay attention to signs or to you know subliminals. To me, the message in this movie was basically be careful because a demon can pretend to be your friend to take over you. And that's what it was. That demon pretended to be Andre's friend, his imaginary friend, right? So that he can find a way into his soul to possess him, to take control of him. And that's what they do. They look for any opening that they can find to get you. So he pretends to be Andre's friend. This demon does. You know, you don't see the demon, but you see Andre talking to somebody, but you never see who it is he's talking to. Well, there's a scene in the movie where Andre gets up and just walks downstairs in the middle of the night. Walks downstairs, opens the refrigerator door, drinks milk, and just the milk just coming down. And then he goes outside. But while he's drinking the milk, a bird hits the window, shatters the window, not 100%, but shatters it good enough. And he walks outside and there's a dead scarecrow. Two dead black things. Keep that in mind. Two dead black things. Like I said, those are telltale symbols of death being present in the area or coming at least. So, uh, Roberta Roberta, I'm sorry, Alberta. I called her Roberta. I don't know why I called her Roberta. Alberta, um, is living with Ebony and the kids because Ebony asked her to move in. And it was to me, I feel like it was so Ebony can keep her eye on her mother because her mother had cancer. So I feel like it was her way to try to keep tabs on her mother and actually stay close to her mother. Even though she has some resentment and animosity, she still loves her mom and wants to still be near her mom. I don't think it was 100% just for her to help her with the kids. I think it was more so for Ebony so that they can spend quality time together in the time that she probably missed with her mother when she was a kid. But in the movie, you can start telling when this demon is getting stronger because they're weak at first. When they first enter your soul, they're usually pretty weak. It takes a minute. It takes for them to do little things to gain as much power before they can take full possession and full control of you. Well, it was taking control of Andre little by little. He didn't know what was wrong. He would go into these trends, and when he snapped back to reality, he didn't know what happened. He was unaware. Just the same thing as with Nate and Shantae. Well, I don't think Shantae did have a couple of scenes where I noticed that she was possessed, I guess, or at least the demon had tried to control her. But Nate and Andre were the only two I noticed really got the worst of it, and um during the film you just kind of like you just got to pay attention to certain things because for me I was looking at him like why would he pick out of all of them, why would he pick the youngest? And like I said, they go for the innocent, the young, weak, and old, but I just didn't understand why Andre was the easier target considering that everybody already thinks Ebony is this bad monster. Why not go for the one that people already think is a bad monster? Because it wouldn't be unbelievable if she started acting out and being crazy because everybody already thinks she's crazy anyway. Well, there's some scenes in the movie where they're at school and the demon starts doing stuff to them and making them do stuff at school, crazy stuff, and now it's making the state think even more of Ebony. Like, yeah, you're an ain't shit mama. You ain't something wrong with your kids, or your kids acting out like this because this is what they feel like they got to do to get your attention, or whatever the case may be. Well, Ebony tries to tell Cynthia because Cynthia is I, I love you, Mo, but you was a little too mean to me. And I noticed that it's just showing the real size of social workers and how some of them can be, especially when they put their personal feelings in it. And her personal feelings was put in it because in the movie she tells Ebony why she feels the way she feels. I don't want to spoil too much of the movie, but she does end up telling Ebony exactly why she feels the way she feels towards her. But Ebony did do a cry out for help for Cynthia. Cynthia just didn't want to believe her. Well, like I said, it starts doing little things and grabs a hold of the kids. And then, they did stuff at school. They got them sent home, got them sent to the hospital, got sent, places in general. Well, they end up going back home. And there's a scene, and I'm gonna post clips in between this, in between my conversation. So if you might have seen a clip already, um, in the beginning of the podcast. You might have already seen. I just wanted to post that clip because it was hilarious to me. But after this point on, I might drop little small clips, 3 second, 5 second clips here and there for you guys. But uh, there's a scene, and if you see in this picture right here, this is the scene I'm referring to. So you'll know exactly when you watch the movie. You'll know because you'll see this look, this little demonic ass look this little boy gives, and basically, uh, it's a scene where as you seen the picture I just put up. It's a scene where they're in the tub and Mama's giving Andre a bath, right? And I don't know. I think the phone rang or something, and she leaves to go, take care of business, go downstairs. Um, and then while she's gone, there's something that happens. I don't like I said, I don't want to spoil too much of the movie. because I definitely want you guys to watch it. But there's something that happens, and she comes upstairs in panic mode, and it, the look. I'm gonna hold on. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play it. That look he gave was so chilling, bro. Chilling. That look was so sinister, and he. I think that the demon knew. Alberta knew what was going on at that point. I think that's when he realized, this old heifer know, this old heifer know that I'm in here. She know that I'm in her grandbaby. She got to go, cause she can't ruin my plans. Like, she got to go. And uh, Bernice eventually steps on the scene, and she tries to warn Ebony, like, I know what's going on, and she tells Ebony the story of the family that previously lived in there, and Ebony's like, girl, bye. Get out of my face with all that extra. She should have listened, to be honest with you. But while she's out talking to Bernice, the demon's in there playing I'd go get you. And it was that to me, that was probably one of the saddest scenes in the movie, was that right there. Because the sad part is that Andre got possessed and was doing things that he wouldn't normally do. You know, it was sad to see a kid get possessed and having to walk through that. And it's another. It's not funny. I'm sorry, this is not funny, but it was funny what he did. And I'm gonna play this clip real quick. So that little clip, when you watch the movie, you'll know where that came from. And that there was just insane. I'm like, what? I'm like, yeah, this demon's crazy. And I'm like, I know that the demon that's possessing him is based on the original family lived in there. But I'm like, well, why is that? You know, like, where did this demon come from before the family beforehand? Like, where did this demon come from? You know, but the sad scene happens, and the clip you just saw that happens, and at that point, Ebony's like lost her mind. She don't know what to think, what to do. She feels like I need somebody to help me. My kids are possessed. Like I need help. She loses her mind, and eventually, she gets put in a nut house, if you will, for examination. Her kids get put in like well, Nate and Shantae get put in a church home, kids group home at church, and then Andre, he gets he get put in a nutshell. Basically, he get put in a nut house, cause at this point they like, yeah, this little dude crazy, yeah. Sorry, that just scared the flying crap out of me. But anyway, so yeah, that happens, and it's a scene. I'm gonna try to play a little bit of the clip for you guys real quick, and hopefully YouTube don't flag me for some of these small clips I'm putting in here, because I want you guys to see these little clips because they mean something. But that little that little moment right there, like, was so crucial in the movie, because it's just like at that point Cynthia had no choice but to believe Ebony when she told her, like, something in this house is messing with my kids. And at that point, Cynthia had no choice but to believe her at that point. It was too late, but she didn't have a choice to believe her at that point. And Auntie Mo definitely came out swinging with that. She's always been a great actress, but that 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 scene that I'm about to play real quick for you, if it allows, if it's gone, I'm sorry. What button should I push, doctor? But yeah, like I was saying, that scene, if it's gone, or if you don't see the scene, I do apologize. But I'm with her. I would have said the same thing to the doctor, because I don't know what the hell you think I'm supposed to do. After I just saw what I just saw, and you think I'm not going, like, come on now. But at the end, sorry, I keep hearing stuff. At the end, though, and this is the actual big spoiler alert. This has to do with the end of the movie, so if you don't want to hear it, skip it. about 2 minutes. At the end, Bernice helps Ebony connect with God. That's what she does. She helps her connect with God. And Ebony connects with God. Ebony goes to get Andre from the nut house and brings him back, and they strap him down and they try to cast the demon out of him, basically. That demon whooped Bernice's ass. You heard me? He whooped her ass. All right. So at that point, it's on Ebony. And that demon whooped Ebony's ass too, but Ebony had her faith was unwavered. I don't know what made Bernice her faith waver, what made her have some fear. I don't know what caused that, especially because she know what she was dealing with. So I don't know what made her start fearing that she was gonna. I think it's because of what the conversation that they had at the dining table was what at the diner. I think that's what made her start having fear because of what happened, beforehand. But nonetheless, Ebony had to step in and start trying to cast the demon out of her child. And the clip y'all seen in the beginning, that had me rolling. But yeah, she ended up getting her ass whooped by the demon too. That demon beat the brakes off Ebony. But nonetheless, Ebony, prevailed. She cast that demon out of her child. She got him out of there. And in the end, her and her kids they going back to Philly. You know what I'm saying? They like, this ain't where we need to be. Now, that I know that was a quick but slow rundown of the movie. And like I said, there's a lot of things I left out. Might have touched base on but left out. Because I want you guys to still go watch it. You know what I'm saying? It's a great movie. It's on Netflix. It's really a great movie. I applaud uh Lee Daniels and his team for creating that movie. Now, I gotta give my flowers, hands down, to Anthony B. Jenkins, Lil Andre. He played the hell out of his role. That little boy played that role extremely well. Hands down. Gotta give him his credit. Gotta give him his flowers. That little boy played that role wonderful. Miss Andrea Day, same thing. Honestly, the whole entire cast, the main cast, did they big one. Including my Auntie Mo. Did they big one. That whole first 7, 8 characters, Andrea Day, Glenn Close, Caleb McLaughlin, Monique, Demi Singleton, Anthony B. Jenkins, and Anawa Elise, is it Anawan Ellis Taylor? Yeah, they did that. But like I said, that little boy, I don't know how old he is. I didn't look that up, but he played the heck out of that role. He played the heck out of that role. Um, that movie was good. Everybody did their big one. And I watched it twice since it came out. I've already watched it twice since it came out, and I believe this came out on, I think, August 30th. Was the release date for this movie? Or I said 30th. Why is everything the 30th with me? August 16th. Yeah, August 16th was the release date for this movie, and I watched the first time I watched it with my niece and one of my good friends. We watched it, and the second time I watched it was literally right a little bit before I recorded this episode, because it, I had to rewatch it because it was things I'm like, did I miss something? Like, you know, and I'm gonna be clear. The kid's father is not an absentee parent. He's just in the military. He still talks to his kids, and he still connects with his kids. He's just in the military. And Ebony and their father are not together. So, there's that. Uh, what I can say about the movie though is I really feel like the grandma realized there was a demonic spirit in the home when she started noticing that anything Christ like was getting damaged and broke. Like the painting, damaged, broken. Her little cross, damaged, broken. Well, she was, yeah, well, something happened to grandma before that happened. But the point is, if this is loosely or inspired by a true story, and I looked up the lady that this story is supposed to be inspired by, and I couldn't really find much about her story, so that's why I don't want to talk about it because I couldn't find much about it. But nonetheless, it was a good movie. Um, it's not scary, so everybody who keeps saying it, oh, it's scary, it's scary, it's scary. It's not scary, bro. It's it's a bit creepy, but it's not scary. At least not to me, it's not. And I know scary, okay? And I hate scary movies, but it's more creepy than anything to me. But I don't want to go on and on and on and on because I could forever. I can go just running my jaws for forever. But I do want to say once again, thank you to anyone who's watching. If you guys could please share, like, and comment and subscribe to the channel for me. I'd gladly appreciate it and love every bit of it. Um, these videos are going to get bigger and better with time. Um, Lord willing. But once again, I do want to appreciate, excuse me, I do want to thank you guys and appreciate you guys for watching. This has been Tay with another movie break, and you guys be blessed and stay safe. Peace out.